It's gonna make you very sick, but it's still gonna be worth it. My wife is. Does that count?
Yeah, that was a good comeback.
snow like a dog, I scream like a banshee, stuck like a hog. You're gonna love me. Ooh, let's go. Burn in hell, I can hear you whisper. Burn in hell, you are going to blister. Burn in hell, screaming like a banshee. Burn in hell.
Welcome to the Riff Crew. I'm your host, Steve Mitchell, back for another big episode here in the realm. And joining me is my great mate over in DC, the capital of Doom. Skull, how you doing, mate?
Hey, greetings, ladies and gentlemen in Cyberland. As you know, this is Skull broadcasting from the past, present, and future in the Chamber of the Cosmos. Here with my good friend Steve Oz from Ozland. I'm an off-again, on-again DC bomb rock band Black Manta. Been in the scene for over 35 years. I know people from all over the scene. I also worked at the Smithsonian for 20 years, and I've incorporated my love and passion for history with my love and passion for music. So as usual, really excited to be here. And we have a special guest with us today, Derrick Brumley. He's the vocalist, guitar player from Conquest. How you doing?
What's up, guys? Glad to be here.
Cool. So
Yes.
you have a new album out, right?
We do. We have a record out called Paradox. Came out May 10th, 10th. Worldwide, everything, and it's so far so going good.
And it's volume 1, right?
So what volume 1 is that if you buy it on the CD, it's all 16 tracks. But if you buy it on vinyl, it's volume 1 and volume 2. And it's broke up into 2 different vinyls because you can only put so many songs on a vinyl record. So that's how that panned out. That way we got to do cool artwork for both records.
Oh, okay, cool.
So is the vinyl a gatefold release, is it?
Say it again?
Is the vinyl a gatefold release?
No, it's 2 separate individual vinyls. And in doing it, we were talking about it was like, it'd be cool because like if you do it all in one, then that artwork is that artwork, right? So now we got 2 different looks for and it kind of tells there's a little bit of a theme that goes through the record. The whole record's not every song. It's not an ongoing story, but it has a theme. But then there are some standard, songs in there that have nothing to do with that theme, if you would.
Oh, like a concept album.
Without being one. I mean, it is, hence the name Paradox. So the first record versus the second record, that's where the paradox come into play because how we arrange the tunes on the record reflects that logic. So
you guys, I looked you guys up. You guys have been around for a long time.
Yeah, we have. We've been here for a couple days now. And heavy metal, you know how that goes, man. We're out of the Midwest, so we're it's a lot harder to get places because things is much further spread out than up in the Northeast or the California. We were in California at the end of 19. We played the Whiskey in a couple places down through there, 6 shows. And that's easy to do in a week and a half. You know what I mean? It's easy to do because everything's right on top of each other. It's harder to do that in the direct Midwest.
So you guys tour much, or is it more you've just got to pick your spots kind of thing?
We pick our spots these days. We used to tour a lot more, and cost effective. It's not right now. Like speaking about what I was just talking about, we'd have to, so we can play 3 shows in a 75 mile radius of themselves, and you're okay. But once you start after that, then we got to jump 150 miles, 200 miles before we get to the next roll. So that gets costly. So we're kind of hoping that things change a little bit, and in the winter months we'll start looking for some of that, some more
your
travel.
band, so like influence wise, how did you guys get started, and what's do you think like a few of the bands that were your main influence when you got first started out?
Well, for me, for sure, Judas Priest was a huge influence on me. Van Halen was obviously the guitar. I grew up in that era when that was everything. So for sure, Van Halen, Priest, huge on me. Rainbow, back in the day with Dio singing, those few records there, that era, that was really molded my my love for hard rock, heavy metal at that point. Then obviously throw the rest of the guys in, Sabbath, and but that wasn't what grabbed me. What grabbed me were those bands.
What about the whole the thrash scene during the 80s? Did you get caught up in that?
Oh yeah, we definitely were. I mean, we definitely have some thrash wrapped in the Conquest arsenal when it comes to tracks. Sure, we were big. We've played with Overkill. We've played with Testament. Sabotage. A lot of the old schoolers. Slayer. So there's a lot of stuff like that. Like I said, we're pretty diverse inside of ourselves. I don't think we lose our identity when we go one way or the other. You know what I mean? If we're thrashing, that's Conquest. If we go more into the hard rock vibe, I still think it's Conquest.
What about Slayer? When did you open up for them? When was that?
That was 2004. Was when that happened. That was a Jaeger tour thing. We were involved in a lot of the Jaeger tours in the Midwest, and that was one of the cool ones where we got to play opening night at the pageant in St. Louis. That was strong. A lot of fun, obviously. Little nervous at the time. You never know with a Slayer gig, you could get Slayered off the stage, right? So, but that did not happen. So, yay, Conquest.
No, that's awesome. So, I mean, was that for where they played Rain and Blood in its entirety? Was that tour?
It was where they had the blood wall. Remember the first night it didn't work the first night. Well, that was the first night with us.
Very cool, man. And I see here on your press release, you also opened for Maiden. What was that like?
So what that was we played the night before at the amphitheater with I want to say it was LA Guns, Rat, and somebody else. And we opened the show with that. When we were backstage and we were getting ready to load gear and all that, and the promoter came up and said, "Hey, well, you guys," I said, "Well, yeah, we'll stick around for tomorrow night." And they were like, it's you guys fit right in, and the opening band on the bill got one of the guy members was in jail or something. The standard rock and roll story for real. So we were like, sure. So it was super cool because obviously it was Queensryche, Rob Halford, and Iron Maiden, and we opened the show. So that was a memorable evening for me.
What year was that? What tour was that for?
2000.
So it was the Brave New World.
Brave New World. For me, one of my favorite Iron Maiden records.
And this is Nightmare Building! You were stuck in the night, the silhouette comes alive.
what obviously it's great playing with these huge bands, but which style of bands do you find that you normally fit in best with? Like, you know, is it the thrash scene? Is it the hard rock? Is it the power metal? You know, what in terms of, you know, fans that maybe not familiar with you, you know, gelling to your music?
Sure. So, you know, so like I said, so we can, if we're going out, we're playing in a thrash environment, you know, we got 12 thrash songs to go out and jam with. If we're going to go, if for instance, say the agent calls and they go, hey, you're going to go play with Stone Sour. Well, that's not really a thrash band, but it's a hard, aggressive band, right? So we can do that. If they call and said, hey, Testament's coming through and you guys are getting an opening spot, well, we can do that too. So, I mean, and it's not a chameleon thing. It's we love all of that. So we do all of that. You know what I mean? I mean, Testament's my favorite thrash band of all times for me. But I also love bands like Sabotage and Maiden and I'm a huge Priest fan, obviously. I like Primal Fear. I like all kinds of bands, but I lean that way. I like music, especially as I get a little older, where the vocals are still legible. I mean, I like, you know, of course, I like Pantera and all that, but you know, I'm less and less in the Cookie Monster world these days.
So yeah, I noticed you guys are doing a cover of Man on the Silver Mountain. I got the Dio's like, to me, he's my favorite singer of all time. I had to pull this record out. It's a classic right here.
100%. I mean,
yeah,
that is definitely something I listen to a quadrillion times. You know what I mean? Dio, like I said, Dio, Rob Halford, Bruce Dickinson, those, you know, early on. Also, believe it or not, I did listen to a lot of Montrose in the early days. So you had Hagar in there as well.
yeah,
Just
Sammy.
that type of scream thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, totally, man. I was how can you not like, you know, Richie Blackmore's Rainbow? I mean, seriously, with Ronnie James Dio singing. So for me,
it's a classic. So did you ever
we cover the tune. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say if you ever get to meet Dio.
Oh yeah, I met him a couple times.
Okay,
Very
cool.
nice, very nice man. At least to us, he was.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, understandably. Again, I can't say enough about his melodies and his strong voice without being overbearing.
And was it his work in Rainbow that you liked the most compared to, you know, the Sabbath or the solo days?
I mean, I like all of it. I mean, I really do. But I would say, like, if you went to the, you know, Long Live Rock and Roll record, I mean, just some of the songs in that record totally molded me early on in life. You know what I mean? That really made me like keyboards more than I really did. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Well, yeah, you have Kill the King and Gates of Babylon.
Yeah, and all right. I mean, it goes on and on, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's a bad song on the record. You know, even down to Angel Eyes. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And with because obviously you're a massive Priest fan, is it what's your take or views in terms of the, you know, the new Priest release and KK's Priest and you know, your views on the two bands?
Well, for me, I like them both. I know people argue over that kind of thing, but I would still lean towards the Priest record and the Priest. I think that, and you know, I'm a vocalist, but I'm also a guitar player at heart too. I lean towards Priest because I think, as much as I didn't like the separation of the original guitar players and obviously then the downfall of Tipton's health, I think Richie Faulkner is a phenomenal replacement and does a great job with paying tribute to who they were and still brings an element of his own. And therefore the Priest lives on because he brought life to the equation, which in my opinion inspired Rob. Listen to how good he's singing now. I just saw him probably a month ago, and as many times as I've seen Priest and Halford, man, I was truly impressed, you know, just truly impressed. And a lot of singers these days, they're not doing the impressing thing. You know what I mean? It's so to see that was truly awesome. Ripper, he's killing it. I mean, no doubt about it. He can sing. I like the band. I like what they're doing. I'm not always overly fond of the lyrical content. It's good, but I would like him to venture down some different avenues vocally with the lyrical base. That's just my take. Being a critique person who writes tunes and all kinds of different lyrics and all that, I think you can get rat holed if it's always the king coming to fight the devil. You know what I mean, and all that type thing. And I've written songs like that many a times, but yeah, that's my take.
Well, you guys are going out live. You're going to be playing out coming up soon, right?
In a couple of weeks. Yeah, in a couple of weeks, we're wrapping up some more video work. We got 2 videos out now. We're wrapping up some more video work. A couple of us are going to go on a quick little vacation. When we get back, we're going to play a show with Burning Witches at a club called Diamond Music Hall, which is out in the west portion of our area. So, you know, a little distance away from me, but a cool room, a fun place to play. Looking forward to doing it, actually, because we've been playing all the new Conquest tunes, and we've done it a couple times, and to great, everybody's receiving the new music real well, which, you never know until you get out there and do it. So that's super cool.
And what is the St. Louis scene like in terms of the music scene?
Like everybody else's scene, how everybody complains about their scene, and this person complains about their scene. I mean, there's good parts, there's bad parts. I always tell guys playing, again, I've been playing this area for quite some years, be glad that there's more than one room to play in. You know what I mean? Because a lot of places, there's 1 or 2 rooms. We got probably 4 to 5 good size rooms to play for that tier bands. And then there's probably 5 or 6 lower tier clubs that bands get to play. So, unfortunately, like everywhere else, I don't know about where you're at in Australia, but in America, tribute bands rule the world. So it's kind of sucky a little bit in that front. But again, I don't knock anybody out playing music, having fun, so.
Are there any, besides you, any other original guys in the band?
So when you say original, think about this, and when I was 13 years old, I wrote a song called Conquest. A couple of weeks later, I got a guitar. My buddy at the time got a drum kit. That was all kid stuff, right? So I started it way back then, but I kind of took it serious, I think, where I would consider the band really existing as a band in 1986 when we did our first real studio demo work and all that kind of stuff. So Rob, the current bass player, got in the band in 2012, but he actually played with me back when we were kids, like in high school, like in 1983, you know what I mean? Way back when. And then he went off and played cover band stuff, and I stuck to originals and with Conquest. Mike got in the band in 1995. He replaced, a guy that we had a little different sound at the time, a little more in the hard rock realm, the 80s thing, but then I was shifting back over to the more of the metal side of things because that's where my heart was. So Mike came in 1995, and then Lee entered the band a couple years back in 21 because the drummer for many years had to have some surgeries, and so he can no longer do what we need to have done. So Tim stepped aside, and then Lee stepped in. Known Lee for many years and done a phenomenal job and just stepped up. We had a blast recording the music. Very, very good guy to work with. And as you hear, he brings a strong element, great drummer. So just all around good stuff.
Of course,
that's cool to have those old guys, still at your side jamming with you.
It is, man. We have fun. I think if you're not having fun when you're playing music, you're doing it wrong. So it's always work to get stuff tight and right, but then when you get out on that stage and you do it, it becomes fun. So yeah, still having a good time doing it with everybody.
You've been around since the 80s. I guess there was a lull in the 90s in terms of metal with, the grunge takeover and stuff like that. And, and you get into 2000s, it was, new metal and metalcore and all this stuff like that. Probably 10 years ago, we had the sort of like the new autumn wave in terms of traditional metal. Have you noticed any changes in terms of the interest in the music of Conquest, given that there is a regenerated interest in classic metal?
And I would say 100% yes. The reception for the record so far has been really, really good, and keeping our fingers crossed it keeps going that way. And so yeah, 100. And I've seen, like you said a minute ago, the ups and downs of hard rock, heavy metal. And let's be honest, in '93, man, when that wave hit, the Seattle wave hit, everybody that was thrashing, everybody that had their hair poofed up in the air with eyeliner on got a job. You know what I mean? That's just the way it went. So we were thrashing at that time and doing a little bit of the, not so much with the makeup, but the hard rock stuff, because it was much we could play a lot more, and that was always the idea. So 100%, man, I agree with you. The up and down processing of the music industry kind of, I think they find who they can mold the most, and that's who they run to. But in today's world, record companies are great. I love our record company. I love it, all that stuff, but it's just a different world, and you don't sell product like you used to. In today's world, if you sold 150,000 copies of your vinyl record, they love you. You done great. In 1986, if you had done that, you'd get dropped. So, perspective, right?
Well, I have a question for you. We have a fun question that we ask everyone. I call it the writer question.
Sure.
So what's Yeah, the weirdest, strangest, or funniest rider you've ever seen, it, whether yours or somebody else's.
Definitely not ours because we're pretty simple, straightforward guys. Oh, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know on that front. I would probably say I know that a couple bands on a couple of the Jaeger tour runs that we run, we did 4 or 5 shows to the Midwest on. I know Brian from Shadows Fall had some interesting requests, and there was a couple other guys that I would say. What was that band? Oh, it was Typo Negative. They had some interesting. We played quite a few shows with those guys actually. They had some interesting requests.
I mean, I love Peter Steele. He's one of a huge influence on me. So a really tragic loss when he passed away.
Yes, I was lucky enough to be on some of them last shows. I was lucky enough. Unfortunately, it was sad to see him sit down behind the podium and just pull the mic down and sing. I mean, it was getting, but at least I got to see it. So, and that was pretty cool.
So what were those guys asking for? Mounds of Coke or what was it?
No. Milk was one of their things that you had to have.
Milk.
Milk.
Okay. He was a big guy. He needed his milk.
He needed his vitamin D. So, yeah, interesting. They just weren't the people you thought they were. I'm going to go with it that way. You know what I mean? Nice guys. Never
big,
was hard.
Big guys.
Super tall, super big. Yeah. And I'm not that tall of a dude. So yeah, when you're not tall to begin with, and then you look up at Peter Steele. Yeah.
It's wild.
As a vocalist, who are your biggest influences in terms of the way that you perform?
Well, like I said, for sure, I would say Halford Priest influences me. Dio for sure. Definitely Bruce Dickinson too. I like. So some vocals start on the rhythm, on the beats, on the one. Some vocals start on the and. Some vocals start on the second beat. And, so singers, how they do things. I really like the synchronized rhythm of vocals because I think it's more adaptable to more people when you're singing. You know what I mean? Like if you get into the growl vocal where it's just on the meter, that type of thing. If that was any different with that type of vocal, you'd never know what it was, right? So I understand that's why that's done that way from my perspective. But then you take somebody like Halford who can start on one and in that first enunciation, 6 beats in before he goes to another enunciation. That's cool to me. That's singing. So that's probably my main influences, especially in today's world.
Well, do you have any last words out there for your fans out there?
Well, I appreciate you guys doing this and having me on, and the guys in the band do as well. So go check out the record Paradox. Available everywhere where music is sold. Any download sites everywhere, Spotify, Amazon, and you name it. Hard copy, CD, vinyl. The vinyls are available. Probably if you walk into a record store near you, they can get it. Probably won't be sitting there on the shelf, but they can get it if you go that route. And then, like I said, conquestmetal.com, anything and everything merch store there, lyrics, pretty much everything we're doing is there.
Cool. Well, I have one last thing to say, and that's remember, look to the stars, carry that torch of enlightenment, and strive to be a disciple of rock and roll and the Brotherhood of Orpheus.
No, right
Cheers.
on, my friend. Right on. Peace out.
Cheers.